Okay, welcome everyone to the next session of our FoodTreX 2022 Research Summit. I am Eric Wolf, and I am pleased to introduce you to Claudia Bauer Kroesbacher, who will be talking about From Farm to Fork, Successful Collaboration Between Farmers and Gastronomy in Austria. And Austria is one of those, it's a great culinary destination, but I don't think a lot of people know about it. So I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
All right, thank you very much. I'm delighted to do this presentation. It's actually a bachelor paper by Marie-Christine Wagner. She couldn't make it today for the presentation, so I'm going to take over and share the findings of her paper. So here on this picture, you see several families that work in the agricultural business in Austria. So you see they're quite different in terms of what they grow and which area they work in. But overall, we can say that about 160,000 agricultural businesses exist in Austria. It's an important economic sector, but actually the number of small companies, so small farmers, is going down because competition is fierce and some just can't make a living off that anymore. So overall, let me just give you some information on the background of this study. So buying local and authentic products and food is on the upswing, as we also heard earlier in other presentations. This is partly due to the changing consumer behavior. So that means an increased awareness in sustainability, but there is also growing consumer desire for regional products and organic products. We have seen that this was also increased due to COVID. So during this period of lockdowns, we have seen that more and more people were longing for regional products. And regionality and organic products are also desired in restaurants and other gastronomic businesses in Austria. So overall, it's a very important sector, as I said before, and approximately 3.7% of the working population in Austria work in the agricultural businesses. At the same time, also gastronomy, I have to say, is one of the most important economic sectors in Austria. So what is the problem definition? Well, obviously, regional fruit and vegetable come with a really unbeatable flavor and freshness when it comes to buying it from the local farmer next door. There is support of the local community and economy as the money stays in the area if people buy from these local farmers. So despite the growing importance of a close collaboration between the two sectors, so agriculture and gastronomy, very little research has been conducted in this area so far. So that was our starting point, and that brings me to the research aim or aims. So we asked what are farmers' motivations to collaborate with gastronomy in the first place? Then what are challenges that they face when working together with the tourism branch? And why do some farmers decide not to sell directly to gastronomy? And in the end, how can the situation be improved? So in terms of the methodology, overall, 11 in-depth interviews were conducted with 14 interviewees during the period of February-March in 2022. We decided to go for a semi-structured form of the interviews. So that means that all of the interviews received the same questions, but of course there was room also for new themes and topics to be, for emerging themes and topics. The sampling procedure was purposive sampling, so there were certain criteria that had to be fulfilled, like that we wanted to look at organic farmers only, and we looked at the area of the Burgenland. So that is, I'm going to show you a map in a minute that you know where this province is located in Austria. And in terms of the analysis, we decided to go for a thematic analysis following Brown and Clark. So here you see this map, and I'm not sure if you see I'm trying to mark this now. Burgenland is in the eastern part of Austria. The western part here, we would have the Alps, so Alpine region, and here in the eastern part, it's more like rolling hills and partly really flat countryside. And here we are at the border to Slovakia, Hungary, and in the south, we would also have Slovenia. And yeah, so what are now the answers to our research questions? What are farmers' motivations in the first place to collaborate with tourism and gastronomy? So first of all, they see it as another important distribution channel for them. So most of them, they would have a farm shop, or they would also go to the different local markets that are usually staged on a Friday morning or a Saturday morning. So they see gastronomy as an important distribution channel in addition to that. Moreover, they also see this as an opportunity that their products get to known better in the area. So when, for example, customers, when guests would taste the wine or pumpkin seed oil or certain other product, when they eat it and drink it in the restaurants, and when they like it, they might then go to the cellar door directly and try to buy it from the different farmers themselves. So they see it as a multiplier that brings them also customers. And some of them find it also quite convenient because they don't need to be present there compared to being in the shop or standing on the local market. As another advantage, they see the quantity. So they can sell bigger quantities to the local restaurants compared to when they are on the market, for example, and sell it to individual customers. So that makes planning easier for them, and also distribution is easier. And if they have reliable partners, so 4 or 5 restaurants that they collaborate with, then they would also be rather flexible in telling them, okay, see, I have a little bit of overproduction with this type of vegetables at the moment. So would you need it, or can you use it? So then the partners would say, yes, I try to incorporate that tomorrow and bring it on the menu. So that works in a quite flexible way. And what they also see as an advantage is that they have partly also unique products that they can sell to the different restaurants. So as an example, there is one producer of gin, of local gin, and it's rather expensive, but they would, in the restaurant, they would introduce it. They would explain what is so special about it, what is the uniqueness, and also maybe tell the story of the farmer behind it and what's his vision, what's his intention. And in the supermarket, you would have a huge selection and you would not know what is so special maybe about the product. So they also said that they have a little bit of less pressure regarding the price. So price is a big issue overall, I have to say, but it is less of a pressure in when you talk directly to the restaurant owners compared to the big supermarkets, of course. So, and they are very eager that the money stays within the area and that it strengthens the local economy, of course. So why do some farmers decide not to sell directly to gastronomy? So many of them, of course, they're small size. So it would be maybe one family working there, and they would be farmers in the first place. So they see this as a lot of work to go to the restaurants, to cooperate with them. So a lot of effort has to be put into that, and they just have a lack of time for this. And they say that in the end, it's no guarantee that they really buy the products. And what I find interesting is that some people said that they don't feel comfortable in this dual role. So being a farmer and selling the products. So doing the marketing part also. So they feel more comfortable with growing the products, being in the field, out in the field, doing the harvest. And they feel they are not good sellers. They are not, they can be, some of them say they are not good in doing both. And another, finding is that, of course, the restaurants, they request flawless products. So one example that I find interesting is also that one farmer said, well, if there is a small hole in the leaf, in a salad leaf, then they can't sell the products to the restaurants any longer. So it has to be perfect, and the carrots have to be straight, and just as people would know it from the supermarkets. So a constant, this high quality is requested. And they also want to have this constant availability on the part of the restaurants. So, and this is sometimes hard to be fulfilled by the local farmers because they would have maybe one harvest and then it takes time to grow something again. So to constantly make something available is hard to achieve for them. Then, of course, they also said that price bargaining is an issue. It is hard for them to, sell the products at a good price. And sometimes they also experience payment problems that they have to wait a long time until they get the money. So what are further challenges that farmers would face? They sometimes also say that there is a certain lack of openness towards new products. So when they want to grow a new species of what you see here, for example, pumpkins, or they just want to try to do something different, then sometimes they experience this lack of openness that restaurants, they just want to have, just as they used to, to the products that are available, the standard products. And they sometimes also they complain that there is not enough appreciation of the quality, because farmers, they put so much effort into it. They try to work without, or definitely they work without chemical fertilizers. So there is a lot of energy that flows into growing the product, and sometimes they feel that there is not enough appreciation shown on the part of the restaurant owners. There's also trust issues that came up, and so they told us that sometimes they say, okay, we buy a certain amount of products from the local farmers, but then also they would have other more cheaper products that they mix it together to a certain extent. And so there is not enough trust at the moment how the products are then really used. And they also find that they are easily replaceable. So the farmers themselves, so they have this high pressure of providing products at a really reasonable price. And if they don't offer this price, then the restaurant owner would just maybe say, okay, then I go and buy my product somewhere else. So they feel that they are easily replaceable. Sometimes the restaurant owners do not respect opening hours, so they sometimes they don't have free weekends, And so that can be quite a challenge for them. And they also told us that in some businesses, the products are not used in the right way. For example, again, coming back to the pumpkin example, that they put the pumpkin seed oil into smaller containers, maybe, and that are transparent, but actually, pumpkin seed oil must be in a dark bottle so that yeah, that it doesn't change the taste and it doesn't go off so easily. Okay, then what can be now done to improve the collaboration between farmers and the hospitality sector? Transparency on both sides can be improved or should be improved. Yeah, just there should be also, people should be more open-minded and should try out new products. And they told us there is already change going on. They see that the younger generation now, that is partly now taking over the businesses, they are much more open to new approaches and to yeah, to more, let's say, innovations in that regard. Yeah, there is also need for education and information about local products and what makes them so special. Networking is one of the solutions, and we heard it earlier in the creativity presentation. I think this idea of really giving information on the creative process of the chefs, and the chefs, again, when they liaise with the farmers and know more about the products, what is the special taste, how can it be prepared in the best way, then all of these parties would profit from each other. And I think there is a lot of yeah, potential to improve that, and also for creating new tourism products where people maybe are taking out into the fields, see how it's grown. We had many wonderful examples before. I like the pairing idea, also pairing maybe the visitation of such an agricultural field, what you see here, pairing it maybe with other activities, with a nice dinner, with a tasting, or doing a picnic there. And I think also an online platform to connect with the farm, that connects the farmers and restaurants, is needed. And last but not least, of course, it's also a question of political support, especially for those who are engaging in organic farming. So that brings me to my conclusions. So I think it has become clear that improvement is needed on both sides. So for the farmers, on the part of the farmers, but also on the part of the gastronomy sector. Overall, farmers need to embrace more marketing and really with highlighting this regionality. Maybe they need also need to go into food activism, as we learned earlier in the presentation. Maybe also just to engage more in social media activities to reach also a broader market. Yeah, overall, I think consumers need to be encouraged to buy local goods and products. We all need to support what is grown regionally, and I think this is also connected with our tradition and culture in the area. It's very important that we keep up our traditions in relation to food and goods. And I think it all starts with education for children. So show them the places where the products are grown, show them around, yeah, learn them what are good practices in that area. Price remains a big issue. I think there are no easy solutions for that, but it is clear that there is fierce competition from local supermarkets. So their new policies have to be put in place also to, yeah, to make this local production even stronger. and yeah, more support for farmers overall is needed. And so future research could hook in there. And I think there are many, many different topics that can be addressed in relation to our research. So further interviews also in not only Austria, so different parts of Austria, but also on a more international basis. So to compare different regions with each other would be very interesting. And we had our focus on the farmers, and it would be really interesting also to learn more what gastronomy thinks about this, and how they yeah, what innovative solutions they would have in order to improve the situation. So yeah, that was it from my side. Thank you very much for your attention. uh, and I'm happy to receive questions or
Thank you.
statements.
Thank you very much, Claudia. I think that some of the things that you presented are similar concerns or processes that we see in other countries as well.
Mm,
And you mentioned something about restaurants requiring perfect produce. I think
mm,
this is kind of an old-fashioned approach to not really sustainable. Is anything
yeah.
being done in Austria to encourage them to embrace ugly produce?
They try to, the farmers themselves, they try also to convince the restaurateurs to use carrots that are not straight, maybe for the soup, and just learn them also how to creatively work with it. The perception overall, I think, in the community or in Austria overall is changing. That, yeah, as I said, that the carrot doesn't have to be straight. Yeah,
Right,
that this is mass production and is not, yeah,
indeed.
what what the local farmers should aim for.
And you had mentioned something about needing an online platform to connect farmers and
Mm.
restaurants. How do you envision this platform? What would it look like?
I think that many of these farmers, at least that we interviewed, um, they would have great products, but partly it's really a problem that they are not so well known. Yeah, they are maybe known within the very same region, but beyond that, maybe they're not well known.
Hmm.
And I think that first of all, you could share this information, and maybe then the restaurants could see, okay, what is special? Where can I get this? How can I? Yeah, where can I get it? How can I get it? And just to bring these two parties closer together.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. And then another question I had was you talked about consumers need to be encouraged to buy local products, and I'm wondering how we can do this. As an
Mm,
example, I mentioned that I live in Spain, and I can
mm,
buy regular bananas from Ecuador or Peru, and they're €1 25 per kilo.
mm,
Or I can buy from the Canary Islands in Spain, but still transported a
mm,
ways, bananas from Canary Islands that are €3 per kilo, so more than
mm,
twice the price. And so
mm,
as a consumer, I'm going to the grocery store saying, am I going to
mm.
spend 2.5 times just to support the Spanish banana industry? I don't know. How can we do this? What's the answer?
Yeah, I think that the consumers are much stronger than we know. So if we say, not going to buy this any longer, then of course it's always a question of price. Yeah, I agree. And we are facing very difficult times at the moment. And it is a huge debate in Austria as well, because biologically or organically grown products are usually more expensive than others. Yeah, and what you get also in the supermarket. But I think and we had a very interesting statement by our Ministry of Agriculture recently, and he said, please buy local products because we need it. We need this support for our businesses here in Austria. And I think it's also it has a moral side to it as well. Yeah, I know there's no easy solution. I can't give you the perfect solution to this, but I think we should just be aware that this is needed and that we need to support our local businesses.
Yeah, I think making a statement, lecturing consumers to buy local is not going to go very far. I think, consumers are creatures of habit, and if we're going to Aldi and Lidl and we see all these great deals, or like I mentioned the banana example to you,
Mm,
and with the prices going up, I'm just going to have to think, am I really going to take some of my hard-earned money or my savings to be able to support the Spanish banana industry, or local olives, or whatever it is, local meats.
mm,
It's a very there's so many, there's emotion involved in this. There's
mm,
economics. There is questions of politics sometimes involved in this. Maybe the
absolutely.
answer is somehow incentivizing the
Mm.
consumers to buy local instead of imported products.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it. It's also, I think, uh, politics is important here. Yeah, what is allowed? Is it good that we have such price competitions? So I'm sure that we need to take the first step into this right direction, but it's always a question what people can afford in the end. I know that, yeah,
Yeah.
but we should also just think about the local products that they are, we know where the products are grown. We know that we support entire families by that, yeah. So it's our tradition, these are our people, and I know this might not be enough, yeah, but at least to raise the awareness in that direction is important.
It's probably a multi-pronged answer. I mean, I would probably pay up to maybe 160, 170 per kilo for Canary Islands
Mm,
bananas, but I'm not going to pay €3.
yeah. Mm,
Yeah. Well,
mm,
very interesting. Thank you very much, Claudia. It was a pleasure to understand your perspective on this and also listen to Marie's research. So we appreciate you
mm.
sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we will now move to the next session, which will begin in 3 minutes. Thank you, everyone.